Harbaugh now heads to Los Angeles Chargers.
Do you think anyone can predict a Jim Harbaugh speech? You're out of your damn mind.
That's a beast mode. My God.
You have to love what you're seeing on tape if you're a Chargers fan, especially for the future with Justin Herbert.
We have a Chargers quarterback that cusses, boys. This is dangerous.
Phillip Rivers sheds a tear.
We want to be known as world champions, and we're gonna do it or die trying. Don't let the powder blues fool you.
Who's got it better than I?
What's going on, folks? Welcome back to the Charger Chat. I'm your co-host, Will Dunk, sitting with my buddy, Kev Huggin Duggan.
What's up, friends?
Let's not forget Kyle, the coach Duggan.
Hi, guys.
Hi. My voice kind of cracked a little bit. What's up, guys?
All right, folks. Well, there has been a few things that have happened in this past week that we get a chance to talk about. We're going to talk about all of it. We've also got a Craig experience lined up for you as well, and an Ask Boltfam. So let's waste no time. Start at the top real quick. We got to throw it out there because there's 3 birthdays that happened in one day. Now, I'm curious.
February 28th.
I'm curious if one of these guys is actually like a leap year birthday and they have to celebrate it on the 28th.
No, good point.
But
Look at you.
There are 3 birthdays: Joe Alt, Tier Tart, and Trey Harris.
Who out of these guys do you think is like 6 years old?
Joe
if they were a
Alt.
leap
Joe
year baby.
Alt.
Joe Alt would be the funniest.
He's the biggest
massive.
6-year-old of all time.
100% Joe Alt.
That's such a wild idea.
Everyone's
happy
like,
birthday.
you should see how big my 6-year-old is. And Joe Alt's parents are like, you want to go there?
Yeah.
You want to go down that road?
He's ready for Pop Warner, I think.
Holds his beer.
Happy birthday to you 3 guys. We got to wish them happy
birthday.
birthday because it's just crazy that all 3 of them were showing up on the same day. But the big thing that happened this weekend is the Combine.
Oh, yeah.
The Underwear Olympics, as we like to point out.
Yeah.
And we saw a few familiar faces at this event, not just being interviewed. We'll talk about that in a second, but the assistant coaches were at the Combine. We saw Nick Hardwick, Sanjay Lal, Elston, and Klinkscale all working with players on the field.
Yeah, it was good.
Hands on.
Yeah.
It was
eyes on the field.
It was fun because like the last couple of years I've been like at home and not be able to watch it. Like the last 4 days we've been in St. Louis working. So like there's a TV right here. So it's working and then like constantly sing. And it was cool to see the amount of athleticism there is in this year's draft. Like, like especially like the wide receivers, the average 40 time was like in the 4.3s. Wow. Like I remember when anyone would break 4.4, it's like, oh my God, they're first round.
He's a speedster.
Yeah, he's gonna get drafted. And now it's like everybody's a 4.3. So
now tight ends run a 4.3 now.
Yeah. Sadiq, don't even get me started. He's my new favorite weapon.
Yeah.
But that's insane. He ran a tight end that weighs 240 pounds. Ran a 4.39. 4.38.
Fastest tight end ever
Insane.
to run that
in the history of tight ends
of Underwear Olympics. Great to see. And obviously now we're seeing stocks rise. I don't think anybody's stock fell.
There were a couple guys that pulled up lame and didn't get to finish their drills, which people had expectations for. But I think everyone just takes a little too much stock in watching this. They don't forget about what people had thought of before they came into this. And, I'm doing it now because now I've seen everybody. I'm like, okay, I want him. I want him. Coupon
He's
for
fast.
him. I need
He's
him.
Pretty. I want him.
Yeah.
Kev's got a grocery list.
Oh, I've already made my list.
Yeah.
I know what I want.
You're checking it twice?
Yeah, it's on Amazon, my wish list.
Well, hopefully they're naughty and nice. We did see an interview like we talked about, Pat McAfee interviewing not 1, not 2, but 3 Chargers front officemen. Coach.
I like that front office man.
I was trying to think of it's not players. What are they?
I like that.
We saw Coach Harbaugh, offensive coordinator Mike McDaniel, and general manager Joe Ortiz being interviewed. And great interview if you haven't seen it. Obviously, Mike McDaniel is completely bought in on the Jim Harbaugh system and reminded constantly of who could possibly have it better than us.
Yeah.
But the thing that definitely caught Kevin's eye, didn't even catch my eye. Kevin was when he saw it and pointed it out. If you look at it, Joe Ortiz is wearing a hat.
Yeah.
As one does.
It's a nice hat.
And it's got a California license plate decal on it, as one has seen.
Yeah.
But it says Dicker the Kicker Fan Club.
This is so awesome.
But like,
That's amazing.
how did it get here? You know, like obviously he likes Dicker, he paid him, but like, how do you get to the point where you're wearing his hat on a show? It's a bet.
It could be
he made.
This might be a custom deal. I think Ortiz made this for himself because I haven't seen this anywhere else.
Made for himself.
He's like, I need a special hat for my interviews.
I gotta think most of the time, anytime I see like a coach or a GM wearing something is like this, it feels like a fan actually like gave it to him like at the event. And so he's like, well, I'm gonna wear it.
Dicker,
I'm gonna put it on.
He has like 12 of these from Dicker. He's
Thought,
like,
though,
one of them.
Was this his way of trying to get on Pat McAfee's good side, being a kicker? He's like, oh, you're a kicker. I love my kicker. We're on the same page. We're both fans of kickers.
I can't rule it out.
I
that
think
might
that's
be it.
exactly what it is.
I can't rule it out.
Yeah.
But it was awesome to see nonetheless. Just a great hat. I want a hat like that. If you know, hey, Mr. Ortiz, where'd you get that hat? I want one of those.
Dicker the Kicker fan club.
Yeah.
It was funny too because McAfee had this like throw a football into like this target. And win $100,000 for charity. And Harbaugh wound up, threw the first one, missed it.
Just barely though.
Just barely. Then threw it in. I think he still got the $100,000.
Yeah, he
made the
it
second one
on the second.
But then the whole interview turned. And Harbaugh was grumpy.
He was
the
upset.
rest of the time that he missed the first throw.
I didn't see that part.
Yeah,
That's so funny.
Yeah, like he
That's
missed
why
the first throw and then he just kind of sat down.
All he could think about.
It's running through his head. Like, how can I miss
He
that
came in
first throw?
smiling, and then he was so not in interview
He
anymore.
was checked out.
Yeah,
I'm out. I'm done here. Good, nice to see you guys. I'm gonna
Nice
go
to see
throw
you, McAfee.
400 balls back at the room.
No, they even asked him, was like, what happens if you have a football? What do you do? He's like, all right, well, if I find one, I'm throwing
If
it.
there's a football within arm's reach, I'm throwing it.
I'm going to throw it somewhere. That's pretty funny.
The other thing that came out, which is very interesting because we were all told these ain't coming out.
Yeah.
Right.
Because the organizations are tired of being embarrassed by some of these grades. But they still leaked. They still came out, God knoweth how. But we got to see the report cards of every NFL team, top to bottom, left to right, every facet of the team. And the Chargers were no exception. And some of the grades, I think, are expected.
Yep.
You know, what we would think. Some of them, not quite what we think. And I'm not 100% sure what to attribute them to. But the different categories, treatment of family, C+.
That's not great.
Not ideal.
No.
It's just, what do you want them to do, though?
I mean, I'm curious to what.
This isn't a daycare.
Why does this happen? Why did you get the C+?
What is their expectation of what they're going to do for your family? You know?
They just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Home game field, C. Now, I think this is attributed to the turf.
Yeah.
100%. That's what I was thinking. I think anyone that has artificial turf is getting a C. I don't think you can get higher because players hate it.
Yeah.
Food dining area, B+.
CP, yeah.
That's good. Got to get that pizza. Nutritionist, dietitian, A-. Love it.
Nice.
Locker room, A-. Love it.
Nice.
What was was it you that mentioned that like the Pittsburgh Steelers have like 5 toilets in their locker room?
Yeah. So apparently they have like the worst grading on their training room and facility because they have a bathroom with 5 toilets for the entire team at their facility. I don't know.
Disgusting.
I love that they're releasing this shit because this is so fascinating.
It's insightful.
Yeah. This is what we need in the off season. You have to continue giving us this.
Yes.
Training room, A-. Great. Training staff, A-. Great. Weight room, A-. Great. Strength coaches, B.
I don't know about that.
I mean, you know, guys are still getting hurt. We had a pretty
there's some
Mackay
softies in the gym.
Voted way to
I think Mackay, he skewed all these results
for
Might
sure.
have. Position coaches, C+. Not ideal.
All right. There's no way for us to really know. That one we kind of have to go.
And that's pretty broad. I mean, that's
have to leave that. We'll leave that over there.
Yeah.
We'll let the pros decide that and we'll just have to go, okay, we'll get better.
We'll put a pin in that.
Put a pin in that one.
Offensive coordinator. Greg Roman, D-.
No one liked him.
Whoa.
And no one liked his plan.
Whoa.
Yeah.
They did a good job not vocalizing that in the season
at all. You never caught a whiff of anybody going like, yeah, I wish we had a better offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
They just came out and said that. This guy sucks. Come on. He's a D.
D minus.
He's
He was a
real
hair
D.
away from F, Kyle.
Yeah, D
He's
minus.
just barely
He's a
passed.
bad D.
You know that there's a lot of F's in there that made that D minus.
Yeah,
no
Justin
one-
Herbert probably gave him an
Yeah.
A because he's just such a sweet
He's
guy, and
just-
then everybody else was F.
No one's giving him a D minus. Like there were like a whole bunch of D's and a whole bunch of F's. That's
Yeah.
all it was.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Defensive coordinator, understandably A plus.
It's the only A plus on this sheet.
Yeah, Jesse Minter. God love you, man.
That's why he's head coach.
Special teams coordinator A minus. Good for
Nice.
you, Ficken. Team travel B minus. Yeah, it's average. Yeah, it should be.
Yeah, that's good.
Head coach C plus.
I think it had a lot to do with the D minus. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, that's the thing is there's speculation that it has something to do with Greg Roman. I've heard that his time management has been under scrutiny of some kind. And I don't know to what time management that means. I don't know if that's game time management or like time management in meetings.
If you don't like 6 stories, what's your problem? Stories are awesome.
That might be it, dude. That can get annoying. Like for us as fans, it's great.
Right.
But if you're a player and you're like, I'm tired, I'm ready to go home. I don't need any more speeches, dude.
I don't
Let's
need to
just-
hear about the time that
hands
you went
in.
home bouncing
Yeah.
basketballs, telling your dad who could possibly
Yeah.
have it better than you.
Yeah.
It's possible. I don't know, but that's just the word. There's nothing definitive about that, but that
I
is the
can
word.
guarantee you it's going up. That man, if anything, he's going to see this report card and be like, all right, boys, let's get to work then.
If there was somebody that would look at this
Yeah.
report, kind of go like, "That's my opportunity for improvement,"
Yep.
it would be Jim Harbaugh.
Here we
Be
go.
Like, I got to be better. General manager B plus, good for you, Ortiz, and team ownership A minus.
That's crazy because that was like an F
Yeah.
2 seasons ago.
yeah.
Well, all the facilities were Fs. The food was Fs. Everything was down in the dumpster
Yeah.
before we moved to the new spot.
It was really rough.
I think this offensive coordinator is going to boost a couple of these other things. We're going to have a Super Bowl A across the board next year.
It
this
helps.
year.
We got to
Next
treat the
year.
families well too. Come on.
Yeah, take care.
What
of
does
the
that even
fams.
mean? They want more tickets? Like, what do you want?
Better seats.
Well, obviously we don't know. We've never been, but I'm sure there's a lot of stuff they do for families, not only on game days, but like during the week, leading up to the game, travel,
Yeah.
on away games. There's a lot. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff they could do.
Yeah.
We don't know because that's just so beyond what we consider. But
Yeah.
I'm like, give them tickets and they should be happy, right?
Yeah.
You give me season tickets, you're treating me great.
I'm a simpleton. Yeah, just give me a free jersey and like a
Yeah,
little goodie bag. I'll
Yeah.
be A plus.
Exactly.
goodie bag, some cookies.
Yeah, some cooks.
So all in all, not a bad report card by any stretch. And every deficiency on here we can see getting better in the next season.
For sure.
A couple quotes. Daniel Jeremiah, when asked at the combine what the Chargers' 3 needs are. Someone asked me what the Chargers' 3 needs. I said, I'd probably go interior offensive line. Then I'd probably go interior offensive line. Then finally, I'd probably go interior offensive line.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
I mean, that's a guy who watches every Charger game.
Yeah,
and
he's
really
one of our,
understands
one of our commentators.
what the need of this team is.
He's on the play call,
Yeah.
so it's obvious.
He's sitting there
what
with
it
Matt
is.
Money, and he's like, boy, they need some interior offensive
Yeah,
line. Matt
big time.
Money. Harbaugh, looking back at the last 2 years, said, good, but we're not playing our best football in the end of the season in those playoffs. We got to be at our best in those games.
Yeah, he's going to win a playoff game this year. I just absolutely know it.
He's got to. I mean,
It's just-
yeah.
No, I was just gonna say it's just like a matter of how do you scale so you are taking off at the right time? You know, like is it snap counts? Like are these guys just playing too much and you got to get more of a rotation, getting guys in and out, or you got to take more serious those little nicks. And if they have anything little, you got to give them rest. I don't know what it is because we're still just getting into the playoffs by a game every year. It's not like we have this huge cushion where we can rest guys, but I wonder what it is that he's thinking, oh, I can change this and we can ramp. We'll be hitting our heights at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the thing too, is like, yeah, we're getting in by a game, but during those last couple of weeks, there's always like that possibility of like, dude, we could clinch or we could get the bye week. You know, we're still in the fight, but you're right. It's like, there's something, you know, the analogy talks about like taking off, you know, we're just it's a slow, gradual thing. And I mean, last year you could look at every bit of adversity this team faced and you could see and understand why. Yeah. We went up and then we nosedived hard.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would be interesting to see what those changes end up being, if any, going into this next season that he thinks about to have us be ready in those playoff opportunities. And lastly, Chargers offensive coordinator Mike McDaniel, and working with Jim Harbaugh, I'm invigorated. I'm juiced up. I'm firmly aware that nobody has it better than us. And I'm living that way every day.
Yeah, he was pretty happy on the McAfee interview. So I love it. Let's go.
It's great. It's all smiles for the Chargers front officemen and the eventual draft coming up here. And we are all smiles because we want you folks to come on over to our Patreon. Patreon.com/ChargerChat. Come on over, check out all the fun, silly videos we got. We just had our hangout this last Saturday with the Special Tens. It was a great time. Lots of laughs. We had some pretty funny parts.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
It was a intimate setting as well. So it was just great. So if you're interested, check it out. Patreon.com/ChargerChat. But if you don't want to go over there, it's totally fine. You can head on over to our regular website, ChargerChat.com. Check out all the cool stuff we got over there. T-shirts, hoodies, and stickers. Chat it up with other Charger Chatteteers in the member section. Ask questions and Ask Boltfam. So check it out, ChargerChat.com. And if you're watching this on a subscribable platform, please hit the subscribe button. Ring the bell, all that good stuff. All right, folks, time to go on to the next segment. You know them. You love them. It's the Craig Experience.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Come on in, man. Kick your feet up.
Oh,
Craig Experience.
hello there.
Make yourself at home. Got some stuff to talk about, right? Moving on.
What's good, good people? Y'all watch the combine? Man, this had to be one of the fastest on record. And I know that is not what this segment is about, but I just wanted to call this out because speed is abounding these days. I've never seen so many people casually run 4.3s. There was like 2 4.2s, but there's a list of dudes that kicked 4.3. And yikes, if you're in need of a weapon offensively, there are some selections there. If the Chargers want to go to that well, they could even do it late. But again, that's not what this is about. What it is a conversation that I want to have sort of kind of about free agency, which is coming up here in a few weeks, and some names that have been buzzing about. But specifically, I have a take that might not be super popular, but that's not really like why I'm doing this. It's because we all have differing opinions, and that's kind of sort of what makes the world go round. But without further ado, let's jump into this edition of That's Right, the TCE, the Craig Experience, and talk a little more about it. Okay? Oh, where my man is? CC Gang. The biggest of salutes, and to the rest of the Bolt fam, again, what it do? It's your guy Craig in Texas, and yes, now it's TCE time. Let's get it. Now, before we get into specific players, I want to address something that I feel like was on my mind, maybe on my heart a little bit, going into this offseason, and where I feel like the direction of the team was going to go with the changes in the coaching staff, bringing on Mike McDaniel, so on and so forth. But the term adaptability has been ringing in my mind, and that's been something that's again been reverberating in my spirit since the Mike McDaniel hire. And when you know it, Joe Ortiz must have mentioned that exact word on literally every interview he did during Combine Week. And with this point of emphasis, it kind of got me thinking about what that will mean for not only how the offenses run schematically, but the type of players they'll be looking to acquire, and how they'll circumvent the almost certain unforeseen obstacles we know that this team will face in the coming seasons. Kind of like a given. But that said, we know all eyes are going to be mostly on the offense and how Mike McDaniel will deploy like every one of the 11 guys on the field. But when people talk about Mike McDaniel offense, the first thing they usually address is the scheme. You got wide zone, motion, play action, all the Shanahan tree staples. But I would say what's really defined him throughout his career isn't just the X's and O's. It's adaptability. And that trait didn't just magically appear when he became the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. I would say it was shaped over years, bouncing around different staffs, different quarterbacks, and different rosters. So in my mind, just from the way I've seen things, adaptability has always really been his calling card. Like before he was calling plays in Miami, McDaniel worked under coaches like Kyle Shanahan in multiple stops: Washington, Cleveland, Atlanta, and then San Fran. And in each of those jobs, the personnel changed. The QBs changed, the offensive line talent changed. Hell, sometimes the team was loaded, others not so much. But what stayed consistent was his willingness to tailor the system to the players instead of forcing players into like a copy and pasted one. For instance, like in San Francisco, for example, the offense really evolved based on who was healthy and who was available. When the 49ers had more limited quarterback play, the running game and play action carried the load. When skilled players like Deebo Samuel and George Kittle became focal points, the offense kind of sort of morphed to feature more motion, some misdirection, and yak opportunities. It really adjusted week to week. And that adaptability shows up in how McDaniel builds his game plans. It's pretty obvious to me. He's clearly not afraid to lean into what's working in the moment. And for example, again, if a defense is like overplaying outside zone, he'll pivot. Like if they're flooding the middle of the field, he'll stretch them horizontally. The goal really isn't to prove that the system works, but rather to do whatever is required to put points on the board. And that mindset matters. And I would say that resonates with Joe Ortiz. He comes from Baltimore, of course, as we all know, that organization, and it's a franchise that's built a lot of its identity around flexibility and roster construction that really fits the coaching staff's vision as a whole. In Baltimore, they didn't draft players to fit a generic template. I would say they built around their quarterback, if we're being completely honest. And they'll build around what their coordinators wanted to do, and when necessary, they pivot. That's important. An adaptable head coach also makes life easier for a general manager. And when the GM is trying to build a roster over multiple off seasons through a draft, free agency, and trades, there are going to be imperfections. And you're going to have to, of course, deal with injuries. There are going to be young players developing. There's going to be some cap limitations. The last thing a GM wants in a head coach is to say, hey, I can only win if everything looks exactly the way I drew it up. I would say that McDaniel's history suggests he's not wired that way. So for a guy like Ortiz, that's valuable because roster building is a long game. You might draft a tackle who needs a year. You might have to rely on a young receiver earlier than planned. You might not even have every prototype body type the scheme actually prefers or leans on. A coach who stresses adaptability can maximize what's on hand instead of waiting for the perfect pieces. The alignment between coach and GM is super critical. Now, again, I'm mentioning head coach here, and we'll get to that in a second. But again, this is more so based on Mike McDaniel and Joe Ortiz and that fusion. But this is especially important for the Chargers because the Chargers aren't starting from scratch, but they're really kind of sort of like navigating the transition. So that leans on everything financially and schematically. Anytime there's turnover in leadership, there's a natural adjustment period. So adaptability overall helps to smooth that out. So if injuries hit, and they always do, you need an offense that can shift emphasis. If the run game is ahead of the pass game early in the season, then you lean into it. If protection is inconsistent, you adjust launch points. You use motion and you help your quarterback. You don't just say, well, this is what we run. Greg Roman. Oh, sorry. And from a roster building standpoint, Ortiz can prioritize value and long-term development, knowing the coaching staff will creatively use what's available. I would say that trust allows smarter drafting and cap management. It also helps young players grow because the scheme can highlight what they do well early instead of exposing where they're limited or still learning. So again, you've got adaptability, which is also a culture setter. And there's obviously another layer to this. Like when a coach stresses adaptability, it probably more so sends a message to the locker room like, hey, we adjust, we evolve, and we respond. And that mindset is contagious overall. Players don't really feel boxed in. Assistants aren't afraid to bring ideas to the table, and it becomes like more collaborative than it is rigid. So for a GM like Ortiz, culture is a part of team building. Like I mentioned before, he's not he's not just looking to acquire talent from a player and coaching standpoint. He's helping shape the overall identity. Hell, based on a decision just to tell Greg Roman to kick rocks and bring in Mike McDaniel, Jim Harbaugh, and this is where I was mentioning the head coach aspect of it, is also demonstrating that he's in lockstep with Ortiz, which is extremely important because we all know Jim has historically been almost inflexible when it came to a specific style of play and the coaches he entrusted to carry out his vision. And in today's NFL, answers change weekly, so you need a collaborative, like top-down approach to adaptability. Defenses are too smart, like personnel grouping shift, matchups dictate strategy. Of the teams that survive deep into January are usually the ones that can morph without losing their identity, and there's your sweet spot. McDaniel's background kind of sort of shows he understands structure, and he's not married to it though. And Ortiz's background suggests he values alignment, development, and flexibility in roster construction. So when those philosophies meet in the middle, you get something sustainable, which is not just like flashy for a week, but again, sustainable for seasons. And in a league built on constant adjustment, that adaptability isn't just a bonus, it's a foundation. All right, cool. Now that I got that out of my system, and I just felt like I needed to, because again, I thought it was really interesting how that term had been sitting on my soul since the McDaniel hire, and the fact that every time Ortiz stepped in front of a mic this week, he mentioned it almost explicitly. But now we can get to the meat and potatoes of it, and like the multiple linemen that the Chargers need, and the Tyler Linderbaum of it all, if you will. If you're the Los Angeles Chargers, look, this offseason can't just be about splash. It has to be about stability. I mentioned a little bit about this before when I was talking about adaptability. It's funny how a lot of these phrases kind of tie into each other, but that's where the Connor McGovern versus Tyler Linderbaum conversation starts. And actually now you can throw Tyler Biadasz in there because for some reason, the Commanders decided they were going to let him go as well. So there are now multiple viable options for center. But first, let's acknowledge it. Tyler Linderbaum is a really good player. He's young, he's athletic, he's scheme versatile, and he's already established himself as one of the better centers in football with the Baltimore Ravens. If he were to become available, he'd be expensive for a reason, and it looks like he's going to be available. Just kind of based on some of the news that's been coming out, I know the Ravens have suggested that they've offered him a market-setting deal, but we'll see what Tyler decides to do here in the coming days and weeks. But chasing Linderbaum, it's definitely going to cost a top of market contract. And when you zoom out and look at where the Chargers are as a roster, tying up major bread at center may not be the most efficient way to improve the team when you consider the fact that they may need to replace an entirety of the offensive line. Well, interior, should I say. We still don't know what's going to happen with Zion, it's crazy. We don't know what his market is going to be, but after the Packers signed a below average Aaron Banks to a $19 million per year deal last offseason, Johnson's agent is almost certainly going to throw that in the Chargers' faces amongst other teams as well, because he's got to do what he's got to do for his client. But that's where Connor McGovern makes a lot of sense to me. He isn't just flashy. Well, really, he isn't flashy at all. He's not going to make like highlight reels. And again, do you really want that from your offensive lineman anyway? The less you hear their names, the better. I don't care if they're pancaking guys every down. I just need them to do their job, which is what the request should be from a down and down out perspective. But what he is, though, is steady. Like, he's experienced. He's seen different systems. He's handled real defensive fronts in meaningful games. For a team that's trying to solidify the interior and keep his quarterback upright, that kind of reliability matters. And let's be honest, the Chargers don't need a center to be a star. They need consistency. They need clean snaps, solid communication at the line, and someone who can anchor against power and not let the pocket collapse up the middle, which we've seen. Sorry, we're not going to revisit those. The last 2 seasons have been a nightmare. If we're complaining about this, imagine how Justin Herbert feels. Probably literally has physical nightmares about these. But listen, again, back to McGovern. If he gives you like 85 to 90% of what Linderbaum's impact is at a fraction of the cost, then that's just good team building, because that leftover cap space and draft flexibility can be used elsewhere. Like whether that's an additional depth piece or pieces on the offensive or defensive line, another receiver perhaps, or reinforcing the offensive line as a whole. Instead of like concentrating resources on one premium name, you have options to address multiple areas. And again, that's just solid team building. There's also like a fit conversation here. Linderbaum kind of thrives in space-heavy, motion-based run schemes. So if you're fully committed to building that identity, then sure, he's ideal. But if the goal is balance, like some zone, some gap, some downhill power, then McGovern's broader profile like fits just fine. He's played in, again, multiple systems and adjusted. Not to mention he provides depth at both center and guard. So again, the team wouldn't necessarily be pigeonholed come April if they want to take the best guard or center on their board in the event that said player falls to them in the early rounds, specifically round one. And culturally, there's also something to be said for adding veteran players who know how to operate without fanfare. Like, offensive line play is about cohesion. So it's all about 5 guys seeing the game the same way. And sometimes the steady professional who does his job every Sunday is more valuable than the big acquisition who shifts the financial structure of the room. You just kind of have to look at it from a 30,000 foot view, bigger picture, more macro. This also kind of protects you from overcommitting at one position. Center is important, absolutely, but it's not left tackle. It's not edge rusher. It's not really a premium skill position. So you win in the trenches with depth and continuity, not just star power, which is what I need people to understand. It's not all about having the best player at each position across the offensive line. You can have fantastic players. You do have that at offensive tackle on both sides. You just need guys who aren't crap. Serviceable would work in this offense, because now with Mike McDaniel, you have somebody who's a solid play caller that can maybe circumvent some of those issues. So to me, the smarter play here may not be the sexiest one, but that's okay. So for me, signing McGovern would signal that the Chargers are prioritizing balance and flexibility. It would also allow them to upgrade the position without mortgaging future assets. And honestly, and probably most importantly, it would let them build the roster as a whole instead of chasing one high-profile solution. Sometimes the best move isn't the loudest one. It's the one that makes the rest of your offseason easier. So that's all I got today, folks. Thank you again for listening to me ramble. It's just kind of my thoughts about maybe some of the moves that the Chargers should be focusing on making going into the offseason. Well, free agency, should I say. And we'll be back talking about some of my preferred draft picks. But I normally don't get into that stuff until after free agency, because I just want to see where the chips fall, and then it will give you an idea of the direction they might want to go or should be leaning come April. So be sure to check us out over on the Lightning Round podcast, because we will be breaking down prospects over there. And again, folks, I do appreciate you. Catch me on X or Twitter. I really called it X this time. Wow, I said I wasn't gonna do that, but you know who I be, Mr. TOP_FLYT3 over there, aka Mr. Bolt Gang or Do Not Bang. And yo, thanks again for joining me, listening to me bandy about all these things that may or may not interest you. But again, a little bit of a football nerd here, and these things are tremendous to me as far as like how decisions are made. But again, just giving you my viewpoint on how I feel the most effective way to build this roster would be. But I ain't a GM. These are just my thoughts. So again, until the next time, fellas, love you guys. Rest of CC gang, y'all take it easy until the next one. Okay, love you. Bye.
What a guy.
What a guy.
What a guy. Breaking it all down, giving it to us, explaining it like I'm 3 years old and I totally get it.
I hadn't really
Mama.
Mama. But I hadn't really thought about it like that. Like it kind of triggered something in my brain listening to that. Triggered some thoughts.
There was some electricity. I saw some sparks flying over.
Kevin went Rain Man. He was seeing numbers.
It's all coming out.
No, but it's a good point. So why do we want the best available center right now? Why is it the most important thing to us? Because we have the worst center.
Exactly.
We had the worst center in the league.
Yes.
That's why we want it, because we want to fix that. But that's not necessarily the best move. And I completely agree with him. There's a lot of centers that have now become available that are like, there's one guy that I had my eyes on, and I'm going to talk about him later, and I'm going to pull it up right now. Who I was looking at was, like Joel Batoni. He's like a guard that just became available for the Browns. He's he's an older dude, but 8th in pass blocking. Yeah. Like 16th in run blocking. Like, I'd rather have those guys and then an extra one behind them chilling.
Totally.
So I think when he was talking about that, it really kind of made me realize how much it would be nice to have that, but will that make our team better?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
I always get scared about the biggest name free agents.
Totally.
Because if other teams are seeing you as being that good, that means your price tag's going up, but your team that you played for, that coached you, doesn't think you're that good because they're not willing to pay you.
Right.
So it seems like the coaches know you benefited from the system we ran and the people around you more than you were just that good. So that's why I always get scared about the top name free agents. I think it's going to be those guys that are a little bit more in the middle of the pack that aren't getting pumped up, that they're going to come in. One, they're going to be hungry because they're not going to get paid $1 gajillion. Yeah. And two, they're probably better. They might be better sometimes than that highly ranked guy because they just weren't in a perfect environment. They just needed a change of scenery. So yeah, I'm all for building the best roster because there's still other holes that we need to fill. Yes, interior offensive line is the biggest, but there's still other spots that we need to get better at and add depth to.
Absolutely. Yeah. The way that Craig broke it down and explained, because that is the thing, like the necessity for a multitude of positions. Because like we had like over 20 guys become free agents out in this last offseason. So it's like, that's 20 positions that you got to fill. And if you just give like the biggest piece of pie to one guy, that you don't have as much money to work with. So I totally get it. Now, to also be fair, the Chargers are like the second highest or third highest. It keeps fluctuating every time like some bit of news comes out.
Somebody cuts somebody, and then
somebody cuts somebody, or now the cap space is up to 300 million, whatever.
Which is crazy. We didn't talk about that.
We did not talk about that. Yeah, it's so like the Chargers have space that if they wanted to go after Linderbaum or whatever top player position, they could and still have room to make other sign other players. But I agree. I think like because like now the draft comes into question. Like they're like when we were watching the combine earlier, they're like it's a very heavy center draft. Like there's a lot of centers flowing around, which might indicate as to why some of these teams are letting their centers go because they know how heavy of a center draft is going to be. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all pans out. Adaptability, I think, is absolutely crucial because even Jim Harbaugh said that on the Pat McAfee show during his interview, was talking about like, I've got to make changes. And part of that is getting people like Mike McDaniel. I'm summarizing, I'm not quoting verbatim, but that was like the vibe that he was giving was like, we got to make changes, and getting somebody like Mike McDaniel to come in and the idea, it's insane to me when Craig says it, how there are coaches out there that say it only works if we do it my way.
Yeah.
And I have the players that do it my way that need to fit in that position. And that's what it felt like, watching this last season. Like you kept seeing the same plays, expecting like, this is a Joe Walt, Rashawn Slater, in offensive line that's protecting Justin Herbert. And Justin Herbert's still stepping back and the center's just getting blown up. Like, buddy, we got to change something. We can't just keep running the same play over and over again. So the idea of Mike McDaniel coming in and being that person that is playing to the strengths of not just the quarterback, but of the team and what they have and the assets available is extremely exciting for this team. I cannot wait. And what else can I say?
Now we'll find out. March 11th is when free agency starts. So that kicks off where we go. It kicks off the direction.
One more podcast, one more episode, and then
days.
Hopefully the gates open and we start seeing some names fall through.
Then Kyle and I will be in Vegas, and that's when a good thing will happen.
That's when all the
if you've ever listened to this show, previous episodes,
like 2 or 3 years in a row.
Yeah, there's been great things that have happened while these boys have been in Vegas on their yearly trip. So
it's gonna
get ready for it. It's gonna happen. Craig, God bless you, sir. Thank you so much for going on that rant, explaining it to us, and throwing some names out that not everybody has considered. McGovern, I think it would be an excellent addition to this team.
There's a lot of guys. There's a lot. There's some veterans coming up that still have it and could be good options for us.
And if this is that center heavy of a draft, signing a free agent and then getting somebody that can sit behind him, in the same way that we QBs go into this league taking a year sitting behind somebody. Right. Having a center come and play behind and can pitch in on a guard if something happens, if a guard goes down or something like that. I'm very excited for that. Craig, thank you, buddy.
Thanks
for another awesome Craig experience. Time to go on to the next segment. Ask Boltfam.
Time to put your money where your mouth is. Hey, guys. Go jam a thumb up his butthole. That's what you do. I wet myself in excitement.
Oh, so hungry.
Your thoughts are like totally appreciated.
Catch you later, dude.
Okay, love you, boy.
That's right, folks. Time for Ask Boltfam. We start at the top with the taint tickler. That's the question. Okay, but listen. I'm doing it. Here it comes. My bold prediction. The Chargers will go down in history to be the first team in history to go undefeated and win the Super Bowl in their home stadium. Google it. I'll wait. I said what I said. It's destiny. It's written in the stars. I can feel it in my soul and also in the White Claw. Big shout out to Mr. Francis. Congrats, man. Welcome to the dad club, my dude. That's elite behavior. Fatherhood unlocked. Big legend energy. Anyway, when this prediction hits, I expect apologies and maybe a parade invite. Question. You're the head coach of a football team in the championship game. There's 10 seconds left. You're down by 5 and the ball's on the opponent's 30-yard line. You can call any play realistic or totally ridiculous. What play are you calling and why do you think it works? Kevin, you can't say Hail Mary unless you add a crazy twist. Kyle, one player on your team is secretly terrified of the ball. Adam, the mascot, may or may not be involved. FTR, FTB, FTC, boobies. Can't let me buy. P.S. Wedding is in Cali. Pack your bags, boys. You can make a home game and be part of Rachel and my history. Yay!
Yay!
He asked for a white girl wasted. So that's
like I noticed that in the White Claw.
The White Claw.
White Claw.
All right. Well, first of all, yes, congrats on the wedding. I remember you mentioning that in the last.
Oh yeah, we went in
podcast,
depth on the last
so
one.
that
Yeah,
was-
no, I owed them because I didn't see the message.
Well, pack your bags, Kevin.
Guess so.
Apparently, you're going to Cali.
They're packed. Yeah, if you could plan it right around like the home opener, that'd be awesome. Yeah. We'll be there.
That would be and yes, absolutely. Congrats to Mr. Francis. We talked about that last episode as well. And all right. So the question, the scenario, 10 seconds left, down by 5. Field goal's not going to do it. Ball's on the opponent's 30-yard line. You can call any play, realistic or totally ridiculous. What are you calling? Why do you think it works? Kevin, can't say Hail Mary unless it's crazy.
No, I would put lad in motion and do kind of a jet sweep action, but Justin Herbert would sneak out into the flat wide open. He would throw it back across the field. Touchdown. Justin Herbert runs it in.
Philly special.
The Philly special.
The Bolt special.
Ah.
Yeah. But I feel like Lad's the guy for the job.
Sure.
Like he's just a lot of confidence there.
Yeah. I like that. Okay. All right, Kyle, you got the same question, but there's one player who's terrified.
Okay, well, that person is off the field. They're not allowed on the field for this play.
Yeah.
My favorite trick play, and it wouldn't work in this situation because they know it's going to be a pass, but I still miss the LT toss pass where you give the ball to LT out on a 28 toss and he grabs it and throws it deep. It wouldn't work here because they're going to be expecting pass. And that's the hard part. In the scenario you've created, does it say how much time is left? 10 seconds?
10 seconds, yeah.
Gotta go for it.
They know it's a pass.
You're kind of screwed because they know it's a pass. So you're going to have your quarterback line up and get into the right check at the line of scrimmage. But with 10 seconds, he didn't say if there's timeouts or not. If we have a timeout, I'm going to try to throw something short over the middle because they're going to be defending the boundary. Pick up 10, 15 yards, call your timeout. And then if you have it first down at the 15, now your whole playbook opens up. At the 30, you're kind of stuck. You're pigeonholed. You got to have a great play. And they're going to have safeties deep. So I'm going to add to the scenario because I feel like it's way too difficult to pick a play not knowing any of the other scenario going on.
I don't know. Kev came up pretty good one. I
like Kev's. Yeah. Philly special from the 30. Yeah, I like it.
Why not?
All right. I'm trying to figure out how I can get the mascot involved because it won't be ours because we don't really have one. So we'd have to figure out a way to get the opponent's mascot.
It's like that Johnny Manziel play where they were lined up on the sideline and they were acting like they were talking to him. But you have Lad McConkey in a Boltman costume. He pulls it off. Takes off.
So whoever, I mean, yes, if Boltman was on the field, but Boltman's not going to be on the field. Let's be real here. Let's be honest. Let's be honest.
Could be.
Whatever team that we're playing against, we have one of our wide receivers, like Lad.
Mm-hmm.
He's arguing with their mascot.
That's so not Lad. We got to come up with somebody else. Lad would never do that.
Why are you shutting down my idea? You got to yes and me on this one. That's why it's got to be, that is so
Improv,
out of left field.
And.
I think Tier Tart's going off on somebody on the sideline.
Oh, not Tier Tart.
Catch the ball though.
Put him out there on offense.
It's got to be an offensive guy who was like, that's why it has to be Lad McConkey, because everybody's like, Lad never gets mad.
Whoa, Lad, what's happening?
Yeah,
Lad's mad?
Why is Lad mad? What's going on? And everybody's looking at Lad. Meanwhile, Trey Harris is gunning down the field.
Yep. Okay.
And Quentin Johnson and Keenan Allen. It's a 4 wide receiver play,
Silent
guys.
count.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Silent count. You don't know where they're going.
No.
That's a game winner right there.
Sounds wrong.
Mike McDaniel, give me a call.
Sounds good to me.
All right. There you go. Taint Tickling Tickler. Thank you, buddy, for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Tom Lytle, who asked the question. Sorry, missing the hangout today for the family BD party. First question for each of you. Guys, what is your favorite comedy movie quote? Second question, thoughts on this? I attached a little YouTube video. Let you guys watch it. Thanks, FDR, FT Brady. K, love you back. For those that don't know, the question that Tom posed to us, at least the second question, sent a YouTube video of Peter Schrags talking about having the Chargers be in the Hard Knocks.
Yep.
They should be, because of the addition of Mike McDaniel. The conversations, the talk between Jim and Mike and to everybody else would just be too good to not put it on TV.
It would be similar to his first question. It would be a comedy.
It would be. It would be a comedy, to say the least.
Yeah.
And it would be riveting television, to say the most.
Oh, yeah.
But the first question, favorite comedy movie quote. Let's get that out of the way first.
Get that corn out of my face.
I
love Nacho Libre. I could quote it all day.
There's one, I can't remember it exactly, so I'll give you another one. But they're both from Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
Our pets' heads are falling off.
Yes.
Yeah, like that one's great. And then while
Samsonite, I was way off.
While dangerous behind the wheel, you still can serve a purpose. Got robbed by a sweet old lady in a motorized cart. That's also there.
That's good.
It has so many good. Excuse me, Flo?
Yeah.
What's the soup du jour? Oh, that's the soup of the day. Sounds good. I'll have that. Dumb and Dumber has too many good ones.
It has the most quotes.
Pull over. No, it's a cardigan, but thanks for noticing. Killer boots, man.
We landed on the moon. What was all that 1 in a million talk?
I think I watched it so many times as a kid. It's funny because it's not really a quote, because it's more of an action than anything else. But Ace Ventura, when nature calls.
And he does like the
Hi-ho, Silver, away!
Like shadow puppets. Oh yeah, that's pretty much anything with Jim Carrey in it.
Jim Carrey,
yeah. Jim Carrey is very quotable.
Yeah, I'll take Jack Black. He's my all-time favorite comedian.
Yeah, he's good. He's good.
There's also just a simple one. It's not really a great quote, but me, myself, and Irene, when he's like flips and there's a kid looking at him at the end of like the diner, he's like, "What you looking at, f***er?" Yeah. Like there's so many good. I'm just
Cable Guy.
Sweet
spot.
Basically anything
That's
Jim
right
Carrey.
there.
Yeah.
Steven, my list, it's gone.
You
big son of a bitch. All right. Enough.
I could do this all day.
I know we really
Great
could.
question, Tom.
But as far as the thoughts on Chargers being on Hard Knocks, yes, no, maybe.
I would love it.
Yes.
Yeah.
As
More.
a fan, we all want it.
As long as it doesn't affect them and their killing power during the season.
Well, it hasn't won us the Super Bowl not being on it. So,
and the last time we had it, we had to share it with the Rams during COVID,
yeah,
which sucked
such BS.
ass.
Yeah.
We had to listen to Sean McVay for half of the episode.
Yeah.
Talk about his wine.
NFL Network is literally right next to our stadium. It makes the most sense.
It makes the most sense. I would love it. Any content that we can get in addition to what they're already doing.
Justin fighting to be on that show would be so funny, like that, because they always like set up like scenarios with quarterbacks and stuff. Like he would not be game for any of that.
He wouldn't, but I wonder if he would be more so now because of the beer.
Madison, yeah.
Like
the
beer is involved. Because of her involvement, if he would be like, all right, let's have some fun. Okay. We'll go on a date night or something like that.
If they announced it, it would be an amazing day.
Yeah.
I'd be so happy.
We'll see. We're all for it there, Tom. Thank you, buddy, for asking the question. Let's move on now to Ivan, who asked the question. Top of the morning to ya. Some more burning questions. Oof. Now that we are underway with Combine, who are your draft darlings? I wouldn't mind Sadiq or Rodriguez, yes. Two, since you three are clearly not the alcoholics from my last question, what's your favorite shotgun beer? Oh, yeah. All right, excellent question. Yes, draft darlings. Now that we've seen the combine, we know the talk, we know all of the names. I mean, yes, I'm sure you've. How many times have you mock drafted so far, Kevin?
I've done 4.
That's not bad. I expected more.
I just did them like just before this.
Oh,
there
okay.
were 4 back-to-back.
4 in one day.
Yeah, it was 4 back-to-back. I don't know when he'll go. I just love the Jennings Dunker.
Jennings Dunker is the sweetheart.
The ginger Viking.
That is the thing. I think that's the problem. I think everybody now wants
as
him.
fans,
but that's fans. The front office doesn't fall into this love affair.
I know
they don't do it.
They don't.
But like just watching him, because I loved the flow, I loved all the stuff. But then watching him do his drills, very quick feet, very athletic. Like he's played tackle, so he's going to be converted. He's a big dude, but he can pull. He's
long arms, big legs.
Can't lose.
Red hair.
Warm hearts, big eyes.
Yeah, no soul. It's great to go. Ready to go.
No
soul. Yeah. Who needs it?
Yeah. No, he's one of them. And then obviously not to take another one, but Sadiq is pretty. He's not just a tight end. He's a weapon.
Oh yeah,
that is a weapon.
He's a freak.
He's a freak. To get the fastest tight end, a guy that can move that fast.
Linebackers cannot cover him.
Yeah,
you put Aronde and him on the same field.
Yeah, that
is the best tight end situation in the entire NFL.
It reminds me of David Njoku for the Browns, and we all kind of were pushing to get him in a draft there at the end of the season.
Yeah,
or in a trade. I'm sorry, but yeah, he's just an athletic freak, but he can ball too. Like I watched a decent amount of Oregon games. He's out there making big plays. He can catch, he's got a big catch radius. He can go up and make athletic plays. That would be cool.
And he's a good blocker too, which is what we need. Because Aronde's been working on that. He's more of a receiver converted to a tight end. Sadiq is a blocker.
Stop looking at each other. You're doing it again.
I can't help it. He's looking at me and I look at him. Like Sadiq is definitely, I think, more of a well-rounded tight end prospect that would, because you could basically dump the entire tight end room and start over with those two and figure it out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was a couple other names. Only because anytime I see a BSU come up, I'm immediately intrigued. And Cage Casey, guard, love it.
Yep.
What else do I need to say?
There's nothing else to say.
Another guy that seemed good, but I think he's strictly tackle, so I don't think it would be a guy that we get. And I'm sure he's going to go much earlier than us having an opportunity to get him. But there's a Proctor, tight end or tackle. That guy was big and can jump.
Yeah, he's got
they compared him to Melvin Ingram on the on the broadcast for the combine, and he could jump higher than Melvin Ingram, and they used him like how Penny Sewell was being used in Oregon for offensive plays to catch the ball and run it down the field kind of thing. So Those are a few names. I mean, a lot of attention was being paid on the offensive line there, Ivan. So I think that's where a lot of our draft darlings are sitting right now. But Sadiq is a big one for sure.
I think what's interesting too are these RAS scores, because there's basically I've seen 3 RAS scores from different positions, and RAS is like, you've seen the graphic on social media where it's like rates you out of 10 and like
all the measurables, athleticism, 40 time, combines it all into a big score,
and it compares you against players from like 80s till now.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the guys that I really liked was Chase Bisontis. He's a guard from Texas Tech, like off the charts athleticism.
Nice.
So and measurables, he's big. He's 6'5", 315, but he's fat. He ran like a great 40-yard dash for his size. So there's just a lot of guys to dive into. It'll be fun over the next couple weeks.
It will be. Very much looking forward to it. Ivan, thank you, buddy, for asking the question. And we go out of Ask Boltfam with Athair Kadir.
Kadir.
Oh, ask the question. Off-season questions. Yes, Utah, give me 2. Let's go, baby. Hello, Judge and Chad, and my lovely and awesome Bolt fam. Best in the NFL. Hope everyone's in good health and great spirits, baby. I got one thing to say. Please do not take my message the wrong way, baby. No one loves Herbie more than Athair, but he said I have no defense, no weapons, bad coaching, no line when he was drafted in 2020, baby. Well, if we address the line, he got everything, my baby. QB pressures on him to deliver, not on my coach. Your thoughts first, please, baby. Now to my questions. First, what do we expect from our new DC this coming season? Can we be like top 7 in the NFL, baby? And second question, please, draft question. The Packers, Kevin's wife's favorite team, LOL. They do not have a first-round pick, baby. The question, if we trade back, we can get a haul, baby. The problem, we will not pick till round 2. Will you pull the trigger, baby? We start with my lovely Coach Kyle, followed by my awesome and best movie friend and movie star, Kevin. And we close with my only love, my heart, my life, forever, only behind Herbie, Bulldog, baby. Okay, love you, bye. Yes, the Raiders and Broncos and the entire AFC, including the Ravens. LOL, baby.
They're
scorching the earth, the entire AFC.
I love it. I love it.
He doesn't care who he hurts.
No.
But the first, which I love when Athair's like, I got 2 questions.
There's actually,
and then
3
that's a third.
Yeah, there's just 3 in there.
The first addressing the more, we talked about this last week about there being either more pressure on Justin Herbert or the coach.
Yeah.
It's
Justin.
on Justin.
It's on Justin.
Yeah.
Coach has won. He's been there, done that, won the highest level in college, and has been to the Super Bowl as a coach. So there's no one's doubting his coaching ability.
Yeah.
But everyone's doubting Justin's ability to win the big game.
Yeah. So I think we're with you there. Athair, we love Herbie just as much.
Yep.
But we know that the pressure is absolutely on him to be better, especially in the postseason. So, all right.
Question 2.
What do we expect from our new DC this coming season? Can we be a top 7 unit?
I don't know. That's what I'm just going to have to say. Yeah. I don't know what this is going to be. I know what players we have. I know what we're capable of. I don't know if he's going to be able to scheme the way Minter did.
Yeah.
I just don't know.
I think
it's his second year as a DC. So I don't know.
I think there's going to be enough consistency there that you can hit the ground running, and you have to do that to be a top 7 defense. You got to play consistent all season. So I think we have that potential with him being in the system. He knows the players. Players already trust him. He's learned how to break down film and put in scheme from coaching underneath this staff before he left. So I think it has the potential to be a top 7. I wouldn't guarantee we're going to be a top 7 defense, but I think the potential is definitely there.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree that it has the makings, especially, I mean, it really is all going to come down to what we do in free agency, what we do in the draft, what is the caliber of players that we are giving O'Leary to play with, and, what players are we bringing back that are familiar with the system that he's going to try to hopefully replicate from Minter and just keep that going.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely potential's there. But the last question, interesting scenario, Packers don't have a first round.
Mm-hmm.
We have an opportunity to trade, and if we do, we could probably get a pretty big haul for letting them into the first round, but that means we don't pick in the first round. It starts with Kyle. the coach Duncan.
I'm ready.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's hard, dude. We're picking so late in the first. I just don't know if there's enough value you're going to get in return instead of just picking the player that you want there. If you're in a top 10 pick or even a top 15 pick, then there's potentially to get like a really big haul. I just don't know if we're going to get enough where we're at. Because, I mean, best available is usually going to be an interior offensive lineman or a linebacker or something along those lines. It's not always going to be the top wide receiver or the top tackle or a quarterback, you know? So I guess it depends on what you get in return. I don't mind not having a first, but I would have to have 2 seconds, 2/3 to make it feel like it was worth it. So I just don't know if you're going to get all that back. If I was going to the draft, I would say, hell no. You better draft in the first round because I'm going to be there to watch.
I want to see somebody, damn it.
I think from what we need specifically on the offensive line, like there are so many good players that are going to be sitting there in the second and third round. Like I really think if you had 2 picks in the second, our team will be a lot better than having one really good player in the first. So I am totally fine going back, and you could even go back in the first round. I'm sure there's players that, you know, teams might be interested in jumping up, like in the late 20s, you know, those teams that were in the deep playoffs.
Sure.
But even if it was like an early second, like a very early second, I'd be down for that for this year, just with the limitations we have in terms of picks and where I think the sweet spot is with those, how good we've been on the second and third round picking guys. I think that there is a bunch of offensive linemen that they're going to just land right there. And it would be a great place to pick up a couple as opposed to just, you know, just one.
Sure. Yeah. Looking at Green Bay's picks, their second round pick isn't until number 52, which
I ain't trading with them.
But well, I mean, that's the talk right now is trading with Green Bay and trying to get more of their picks, which it's tempting. That's really tempting. But 52, it feels so far away from like
52 is too far. I'd go early. I'd go into like the first like 8 picks of the second round.
Yeah,
I wouldn't go past that because then at that point you're missing out on like those, especially those interior offensive linemen that I've been targeting and really want.
Yeah, I mean, considering everything else that's been happening as far as like, you know. Hearing now that because of the J.K. Dobbins tag that we put on him, now we've got a compensatory pick added to everything else. Not that that's necessarily like the best thing in the world, but that's
we'll take an extra one.
Absolutely in the 6th round. So I would say no, only because of how far back Green Bay was. If Green Bay was in those top slots in the 2nd round, I could be convinced to make a trade, but 52 feels too far back to wait for that kind of talent. Even if you could get 52, 84, and you know more other Green Bay picks just so they can get up into the 1st round. Nah.
Well, I couldn't tell by the question, but I just think he was talking about in general trading back. But I wouldn't go to the Packers specifically. But,
well, I mean, he talked about the Packers. They don't have a 1st round. So we would trade with them.
They would want to move up, potentially.
They want to move up to the 1st round.
I don't know. I just feel too far back. You'd have to get like all of their picks. With how far back they are in the second, you need like everything.
Yeah. And that would be a lot. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 picks.
And we're
just so they can get in the 1st round.
And we're trying to win too. Like, you know, developmental is great, but like we need 3 of these guys to be able to be starting.
Absolutely.
So I don't know about that method.
Yep. I'm going to pass. I think most of us are going to pass here, buddy. But thank you for asking the question. And thank you, everybody, for asking questions in Ask Boltfam. Listen, it's the off season right now, and we're taking off.
That's what Harbaugh says.
Yeah. Free agency is going to get here, and then the draft, and then training camp, and it's just going to keep going, and we are going to slowly take off. So stick around with us. We're going to have some more fun. As things come to us, more news will be happening, but I think that's going to do it for us here at Charger Chat. Any final thoughts there, gentlemen?
Hope everyone has a great week.
Enjoy.
Have yourself a fine week. Have some fun. Do some things. Pick up a hobby. Hug someone. I don't care who. Strangers.
Do it.
Just as long as you warm hearts, clear eyes, Visine, whatever you got to do. It's It's going to be a good week. So
All right.
that's going to do it for us here at Charger Chat, folks. Don't forget to bolt on because we're ready for any squad, any place.
I love you, bye.
I love you,
We
bye.
just landed. We're gonna have to take off again.
It was a little windy.
It was
on
a
that
very
takeoff.
windy takeoff.
But we're in. And now, a word from our sponsors. Are you tired of suspense? Do you miss the good old days when field goals felt inevitable? Join the Dicker the Kicker fan club, where every kick is treated like a scheduled appointment with destiny. Wind? Irrelevant. Pressure? Delicious. Distance? A suggestion. Membership includes exclusive merch, dramatic slow motion replays, and a ringtone that just says, "It's good." Don't just watch the game, invest in stability, because championships are built one responsible, beautifully boring three-pointer at a time. Dicker the Kicker Fan Club. Consistency never looked so clutch.